back and forth on Twitter.
They're on the same level, they can do that, so.
The words hit like a gut punch, shattering any pretense of rivalry. Dan Hooker, in a public exchange with Paddy Pimblett, dropped a name that brought a chilling silence to the MMA world. R.I.P. Rick. This wasn't just trash talk, it was a deeply personal, unsettling reference to Paddy's close friend who tragically took his own life in 2022. The digital war instantly escalated beyond fight promotion, crossing a line many deemed unforgivable. Fans, media, and even other fighters recoiled, wondering how a verbal spat could descend into such grave, unexpected territory. The feud, already simmering with intensity, exploded into an unprecedented firestorm.
I don't want anyone to mention anything about my family, so I'd never do it about anyone else. It's not what we do. We're fighters. We say what we want about each other. Say anything about me, I'll say anything about him. But don't mention families, you know, that's below the belt. And I wish him nothing but the best with it, lad. I hope it all gets resolved. I hope it all gets resolved and he gets to see his child, lad. That's the main thing. But for now, I'm fighting for the world title. He's sitting on the sideline, so when I win this belt, I'm the champ. Don't care if it says interim on it. When I win this belt, I'm the champ, and if he's not back by June, July, he best have to vacate or get stripped, and I am the champ.
This catastrophic turn began innocently enough, or so it seemed. The initial spark was Paddy Pimblett delivering a contentious quip about Dan Hooker's grappling capabilities. It was a classic pre-fight jab designed to needle an opponent and gain a psychological edge. However, what was intended as routine verbal jousting rapidly spiraled out of control. The online arena, known for amplifying rivalries, became a crucible where every word was scrutinized. This seemingly harmless dig set off a chain reaction, proving that a simple remark can carry far-reaching and unintended consequences, tightening the tension between two fierce competitors.
Said, ain't said when we were face-to-face, bitch. I thought we were mates, but you're not a very good mate, are you, Paddy? R.I.P. Rick.
Paddy Pimblett retorts to Dan Hooker. Hooker's response was swift, brutal, and utterly devoid of humor. He viewed Paddy's remark not as a playful jab, but as a grave boundary being crossed, a personal insult that demanded immediate, furious retaliation. His reply displayed no hesitation, no attempt to downplay. It showed the conflict had grown deeply personal, far beyond mere online banter. The tension between them solidified, transforming from a public spectacle into a raw, emotional battle. This unvarnished anger signaled to everyone that their rivalry was now ingrained, and the next encounter would be charged with genuine animosity.
Hooker, there's a little conflict going around with Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett. I was wondering if you were able to, see it or what you thought about it.
I didn't see what they're doing.
Just going back and forth on Twitter.
They're on the same level, they can do that, so. Trash cans.
Adding fuel to the fire, fans quickly branded Paddy Pimblett a hypocrite. Just moments before his contentious exchange with Hooker, in the very same interview, Paddy had notably declined to comment on Ilia Topuria's family matters. He emphatically stated that certain boundaries he would simply not cross, especially concerning private family issues. Even amidst the heated rivalry with Topuria, he made it clear that family was off limits, stressing that private lives must remain distinct. This glaring contradiction sparked instant criticism, as many questioned his moral compass and the selective application of his own professed rules.
I'm gonna say he has no grappling. He trains with guys. He never compete even the high level. He never compete in jiu-jitsu or grappling. I saw him. He had a fight, grappling fight, and he tapped or he lost. So he's a trash can in the grappling and the wrestling.
Paddy Pimblett's own words, caught on tape, underscore the depth of this hypocrisy claim. He declared, "I don't want anyone to mention anything about my family, so I'd never do it about anyone else. It's not what we do. We fight us. We say what we want about each other. Say anything about me. I'll say anything about him, but don't mention families. You know, that's below the belt." This stance, presented with conviction, made his subsequent actions in the Dan Hooker feud even more jarring, laying bare a personal code that was seemingly abandoned.
He's been grappling a lot. I know you don't want to talk about him, but how do you feel about his, his grappling tournaments?
Lad, I heard he nearly got strangled by a what's his name?
Sharam Magomedov.
Yeah, he nearly got strangled by him, and he can't grapple to save his life either. He's a striker, and he nearly got strangled by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever got any interest of taking those sort of exhibition type things? You know, RAF have got this kind of like grappling thing. Is there ever been like a reach out for like a let's do a grappling match for Pimblett, or is that?
I don't know. Before I was in the UFC years ago, when I was coming back from an injury, I done Polaris one time against Stevie Ray, caught me in a leg lock. That's like the only one I've done in the past 10 years or something like that. I used to do grappling competitions all the time when I was younger and stuff like that, but obviously I'm focused on fighting now. I don't, like, he can go off and do all these other things if he wants, lad, but hopefully he takes his neck doing them.
Okay.
Dan Hooker, still seething from the online remarks, further responded by angrily criticizing Paddy Pimblett for remaining silent and being disingenuous when they had previously met backstage. Hooker stated he believed they had established a good rapport during their private encounter, creating a sense of trust and mutual respect. He felt profoundly betrayed that Paddy's contentious remarks had gone public after what he thought was a genuine connection. This sense of personal affront escalated the conflict, transforming it from a mere professional rivalry into a deeply felt breach of unspoken camaraderie.
So what about this fucking Armin fella, dude? What are we saying, this posh cunt?
Fuck him. Simple as, lad. I'm getting sick of getting asked about him and people talking about him. Oh, he should be in this interim title fight. He shouldn't fucking headbutt people at weigh-ins then, should he, lad, and punch fans on us when he's walking out, lad, and pull out a title fight the night before. So as far as I'm concerned, lad, he can eat shit, lad, and fucking, as Dana said, he can get back to the drawing board.
Nice. Get that one out of the way early on Armin Tsarukyan. He could have been in the mix for this fight, but I just feel like there's a lot of ulterior factors that people aren't considering other than just his recent win over Dan Hooker. I know he's a top contender, but there's a whole lot that he's done wrong before, and this is the big Paramount debut.
And lad, people are saying, like, Justin Gaethje, he's older than that, lad. He's 2 years older than Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's like 2 years younger than him.
That's true.
Dan Hooker can't. Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a fucking rapist off his man.
Paddy Pimblett, however, was far from backing down. He retorted to Dan Hooker, highlighting what he perceived as an excessive and abhorrent response. You turned to supposed to just concerning your poor grappling into trash talk, concerning my friend who ended his own life. That's now utterly deplorable, Paddy declared, articulating his disgust. He viewed Hooker's reference to his deceased friend as an unacceptable boundary breach, retaliating fiercely while simultaneously discrediting Hooker's abilities. This exchange solidified the rivalry as deeply personal and intensely emotional, plunging into the raw territory of personal tragedy and perceived disrespect.
I'm not one of these fans, but some fans thought Arman should have been the one to get a 155 title pound shot.
We knew that would happen too.
Of course. Did the headbutt play any factor in the decision to not go with him? It did, right?
A lot of things have factored in, you know. Yes.
Amidst this escalating personal drama, another major player weighed in with a surprisingly dismissive take. Arman Tsarukyan, a formidable lightweight contender, casually brushed aside the entire digital exchange involving Paddy Pimblett and Dan Hooker. He made it abundantly clear that he perceived neither competitor as performing at a superior stance, minimizing their heated dispute. I didn't see what they're doing. Just going back and forth on Twitter. They're on the same level they can do that. Trash canes, Tsarukyan stated, his tone dripping with nonchalance. His blunt assessment effectively relegated the explosive feud to triviality. Journey.
I think it was in LA. You were gonna fight Islam. You messed up your back. What's the recovery been, you know, for, and like what happened? How did you get injured in your back before the fight versus Islam?
So I did the MRI after the fight, and it shows like I don't know how to explain in English, but I have a grisha. No.
Translate. Let's see. Hernia.
So I have that thing.
Okay.
And I may need surgery, I may not. So we'll see if it's gonna bother me again. I gotta do surgery.
Gotta remove the hernia.
Yeah, remove it.
Gotcha.
So,
was it pretty painful?
Yeah, my back was stuck, you know. And then in 2-3 weeks I started moving, running, you know.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Tsarukyan didn't stop at dismissing the feud. He directly targeted Paddy Pimblett's ground game with scathing criticism. He openly questioned how much of a threat Paddy truly poses when grappling, completely disregarding his standing in that area. I'm gonna say he has no grappling. He trained with both of you guys. He never competes, even at high level. He never competes in jiu-jitsu or grappling. I saw him. He had a grappling fight and a tapped or lost, so he's trash cans in the grappling and the wrestling, Arman asserted. This blunt assessment implied that Pimblett avoids testing himself against top opponents.
Tapuri and Islam, Tapuri has no chance. Whatever. You think Tapuri can beat Islam?
Yeah.
Bro, you
no, at 170, no.
MMA, bro.
At 170, no. At 155,
bro,
yes.
You like working in an interview guy. You know shit about MMA.
I do. There's no way Ilya Tapuria can't.
Let's do that, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, 165.
No, it's 170 as well.
Bro, Islam fighting 170. He's not 155 fighter.
Yeah, that's why I said at 170 I don't think so, but it's close. But at 155 I think Ilya can beat Makhachev. Yeah. Very good. No.
He has just boxing. That's it.
He has grappling too.
Where?
He submitted Bryce Mitchell.
Paddy Pimblett, never one to back down, swiftly turned his critical gaze back onto Arman Tsarukyan. He derided Arman's grappling prowess and challenged his actual level of control on the ground. Paddy minimized Arman's achievements beyond MMA, juxtaposing them with his own history, all while emphasizing that his true attention remains firmly on combat, not peripheral contests. The demeanor quickly became aggressive as Paddy portrayed Arman's outside grappling endeavors as a needless danger. This direct counterattack signaled that the web of rivalries in the lightweight Gillen was becoming increasingly tangled and personal.
155 pounds. I don't see anyone beating Ilya Tapuria. I just don't. Not Paddy, not Justin. Yeah, all right, there's Arman Tsarukyan out there, and he's the dark horse. Obviously, Paddy and Justin are fighting for the interim title. That's an interesting fight because Justin, better boxer, better wrestling, never uses the wrestling. Even if he did use the wrestling, you wouldn't really want to take Paddy Pimblett down. Paddy's a lot younger, a lot less miles on the clock, a lot less wear and tear. I'm kind of early leaning towards Paddy Pimblett in that fight. But who's the undisputed champ at the end of 2026? So yeah, 2026, Tapuria will still be the champ. Yeah, there's Arman Tsarukyan out there, but I don't think that fight will materialize just yet.
In a development that surprised many, Arman Tsarukyan, who had previously shown willingness to be the backup for the Paddy versus Justin fight, made a stark reversal. He now made it plain he would not subject his body to a brutal weight cut without a true purpose. Tsarukyan clarified that despite widespread talk of him being the clear backup option, the UFC had never made any direct contact. Without that official call, he saw no point in draining himself just for cash or pure speculation. In his estimation, reducing weight proves incredibly tiring and demanding, having endured it previously with nothing yielding.
He's saying is like, whatever he's dreaming and thinking, you know, all power to him. We're ready for everything, and we did not go into this fight thinking it's going to be just a striking fight at all. Like, Justin has spent so much time. That's probably the proudest thing I am with Justin, is the amount of time that he's put into his grappling, because his wrestling is so high level. But it's more of the offensive and positional type of fighting. You know, for so long, I remember when we got stopped by Oliveira and I had to have a conversation with everybody on the team, like, hey, Justin is a high level guy, one of the best scramblers out there. We got some of the best slams out there, the Rampage Jackson type of slams. We're offensive. Justin's style is offensive, and to be a champion, you push people back. You have to put people on their heels. I look at this as when we had the Oliveira fight, we were defensive. We were like, don't get in this position. How do you get out of this position? You can't win fights like that. And you have to win offensively.
Paddy Pimblett wasted no time in placing the blame squarely on Arman Tsarukyan, holding him personally responsible for the dilemma he was currently facing. Paddy didn't hold anything back, addressing Arman's weigh-in antics and last-minute withdrawals with unfiltered aggression. So what about this f***ing Arman fella, dude? What we sayin' is push can. Pim, simple as lad. I'm getting sick of getting asked about him and people talking about him. No, we should be in this interim title fight. We shouldn't put in a pithy that way in. Paddy declared. He articulated clearly that Arman's past actions had directly hampered his own opportunities.
Those guys that when you grapple with him, his ground and pound is so unique. So unique. He hits people with punches at different angles on the ground that are so effective. And it's top game. Like, how do you know your top game, and how do you know that? Like, Paddy, I think, is very good when it comes to dragging people to the floor. I don't think Paddy's a great wrestler. I don't think he's going to go out there and take Justin down. Obviously, he could slip on the mats. He can time something really good where the hips are up. But I don't see Paddy taking him down.
The narrative around Arman Tajarukian took another twist when Dana White himself weighed in, confirming a critical detail that had been overlooked by many. White revealed that Arman's infamous headbutt to Dan Hooker during the weigh-ins had significantly impacted his career prospects. He explicitly stated that this incident contributed to Tajarukian missing out on a coveted UFC title shot, underscoring how actions outside the octagon can bring serious and lasting consequences. This revelation from the top brass solidified the severity of the weigh-in altercation, showing that impulsive aggression could derail a fighter's path to championship.
You're going to get this one done.
I think I finish him wherever the fight goes, to be honest. Obviously, I know we can bang, but every fight we get a breakdown made of our opponent, and it actually shocks me how much he gets hit. And I know he takes one to give one, but you can't really just do that at this level. That's why he's lost to people like Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Charles, because you can't just take one to give one, and I'm not going to just be standing there to let him hit me back, you know what I mean? So, be using me range, keeping him on the outside, and I've got a feeling I'm going to knock him out, to be honest. I don't know what it is, I've just got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to knock him out. You know, I've been doing a lot of rounds with Luke Riley for this camp, and Luke's got much better technical striking than Justin Gaethje, and I'm having a lot of success sparring with Luke, and obviously one of my coaches, Ellis, who used to fight himself, he's the exact same build as Justin. He's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, and I've been doing rounds with him. He's literally, because he doesn't fight anymore, lad, and he's just a coach, he's just done Justin's style for me. He hasn't got his own style, he's been doing Justin for me, and just the bits what we're working, I can see me knocking him out or dropping him and then submitting him. People are going on about his takedown defense, but if I want to take him down, I will take him down, lad. Simple as.
Arman Tajarukian, facing continued criticism for past withdrawals, finally broke his silence on why he pulled out of the UFC 311 clash with Islam Makhachev. He disclosed that a hernia was the true cause. Despite this legitimate medical issue, Tajarukian had received public backlash for skipping the match and continues to confront the repercussions of that choice, illustrating how one absence can deeply affect a competitor's journey and perception. So I did the MMI right, up in the fight, and it shows like, I don't know how to explain the English, but I have a good reason. Seriously? Let's see. Hertia, he explained, revealing the debilitating injury.
At all. So, the fact that I've got Ellis playing Justin Gaethje for me, and then I've got Luke, who's a better, faster, more powerful technical striker than him, I think it all goes into my favour.
You got Luke Riley above Justin. You're rating him above Justin Gaethje in the striking department already in his career, you reckon?
Yeah. Luke Riley's been fighting Thai in Thailand since he was 8 years old, lad. You know what I mean? When Justin Gaethje was wrestling, lad, Luke was fighting Thai and then doing amateur boxing, and Luke's striking is a class above.
In yet another bold statement, Arman Tajarukian clashed with an MMA expert over Ilia Topuria's likelihood of beating Islam Makhachev. When the pundit suggested Topuria might contend at 155, though not at 170, Arman responded sharply, brushing aside the remark. He clarified he felt the analyst lacked sufficient understanding of the sport to make such a claim, declaring, Topuria has no chance. He stood firm, asserting, there's no way Ilia Topuria can't. Ooh, good, bro. Yeah, of course. Okay, 165. No, it's 170 as well. It's not 150 type you know. This aggressive debate showcased Arman's unwavering conviction.
Afraid to speak it out loud. Like, this is our last run. Like, Justin's not. If we don't win this fight, we're not going on. Like, we're not going to go out there and be a gatekeeper and look at money fights and shit like that. It's he's a goal setter, and his mentality, just like he finished up. I don't know if you watched that video. Might as well go watch it if you haven't. we're in his house and the family's having a dinner, and you know, I have that true talk, and I'm talking to his family. I'm not talking to him. And you know, it's the way he ends it. He's like, "It's not over, coach." So that's the key to Justin. Justin is very unique. He would fight over and over and over, but he knows he's got to be there for the family. He's got to be smart and take care of his health. And but we win this belt. My shoot to the moon type of goal would be, let's go out there and repeat defenses. Obviously, this is an interim title fight, so we're not the champ yet. So we'd have to go win that belt.
Adding another layer to the title picture, Michael Bisping confidently forecasted that Ilia Topuria would indeed maintain his championship through 2026, believing no one in the weight class could unseat him currently. He didn't see anyone. Not Paddy, not Justin, and even acknowledging Armin Targan as a dark horse, Bisping stated, "I don't think that fight will materialize just yet." This left Topuria's control mostly unchallenged in the near term. Regarding the interim title fight, Bisping found it interesting, kind of early leaning towards Paddy Pimblett, despite acknowledging Justin's better boxing and wrestling.
Oh man, more skilled, more experienced, I think better fighter all around, Justin Gaethje. But I also have been on record and said that Paddy Pimblett is better than a lot of people think he is. You know, because of his, you know, his haircut and the way he talks and the, you know, some of the, you know, the strength of schedule. People don't give him a lot of credit, but when I fought him in April in Miami, I'm not going to say that I was surprised, because I was expecting the best version of Paddy, but he's better than a lot of people give him credit for. He's got long reach, good kicks, pretty darn patient and composed in there. But Gaethje's a whole different animal. So if I had to bet, which I can't, but if I had to lean in one direction, I'd go Justin Gaethje, interim champion, and then he beats Ilia Topuria later on this year.
Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje's renowned coach, dropped a bombshell about their strategy for the upcoming fight against Paddy Pimblett. He indicated that Gaethje plans to unveil a distinct and surprising dimension of his game, particularly on the ground. Whitman clarified that the squad is emphatically not viewing this as solely a striking contest, underscoring the significant, often unseen effort Gaethje has invested in his wrestling and grappling. From Whitman's perspective, the emphasis now lies on proactive aggression over mere reactivity, leveraging Justin's enhanced control and formidable ground and pound as primary tools. Whitman elaborated on Gaethje's strategic shift, articulating a philosophy centered on offensive pressure. He recalled the lessons learned from previous fights, stating, "I remember when we got stopped by Oliver and I had to have a conversation with everybody on the team and like, hey, Justin is a high-level guy. We're one of the best front boys out there. We're offensive. Justin's style is offensive. Then it'll be a champion. You push people back, you have to pull people on their heels." He candidly admitted, "When we had the Oliver fight, we were defensive. You can't win fights like that, and you have to win offensively." Trevor Whitman didn't mince words when assessing Paddy Pimblett's ground game against Justin Gaethje. He detailed that engaging in grappling with Gaethje carries specific, severe risks, particularly once the contest goes to the floor. Whitman emphasized how Gaethje's dominant top control and ground and pound distinctively excel through the unique angles and relentless pressure he applies, making it incredibly difficult for adversaries to stabilize. Despite acknowledging that Paddy Pimblett proves effective at bringing battles to the canvas, Whitman definitively dismissed his wrestling, stating, "I don't think Paddy is a great wrestler. I don't honestly Paddy taking him down." Paddy Pimblett, however, remains brimming with self-belief before his possible encounter with Justin Gaethje. Asserting the bout will not reach a decision, he recognizes Gaethje's undeniable strength, yet confidently identifies vulnerabilities he can exploit. "I think I finished him wherever the fight goes, to be honest," Paddy stated, seeing himself as the one poised to achieve a decisive stoppage rather than a judge's verdict. He pointed out Gaethje's tendency to take one to give one too much, a flaw he believes has cost him previous high-level fights. Paddy declared his intent to use his range and potentially even knock Gaethje out. In perhaps his most audacious claim yet, Paddy Pimblett asserted without reservation that even his teammate Luke Riley is a more complete striker than Justin Gaethje. He pointed to Riley's innate swiftness, raw power, and refined technical skill, noting Luke's Muay Thai training began at an astonishing 8 years old. Luke Riley is being fighting Thai and Thai since he was 8 years old. I don't know me. I'm just engaged with wrestling, Paddy declared, issuing a bold claim about his team's striking lineage. This controversial comparison was designed to elevate his camp and perhaps even psychologically unnerve Gaethje. Trevor Whitman portrayed UFC 3034 as a pivotal, intensely personal moment for Justin Gaethje, suggesting this is unequivocally his last run for a UFC title. I'm afraid to speak it out loud like this is our last run, Whitman confessed, revealing the high stakes. He clarified their objective isn't to linger for lucrative bouts or serve as a launchpad for others, but to make one ultimate, serious push for the belt. In Whitman's view, the emphasis is on dedicating all efforts presently, while also heeding Gaethje's long-term health and duties outside the cage, particularly to his family. Michael Chandler, providing a powerful concluding thought, solidified the immense stakes. He believes Justin Gaethje has the undeniable upper hand on Paddy Pimblett, acknowledging Paddy's talent, but still viewing Gaethje as the superior, more experienced, all-around combatant. Gaethje is a whole different animal, Chandler stressed. He even went on record to forecast that Gaethje possesses the capacity to defeat Ilia Topuria later this year, emphasizing his profound faith in Gaethje's full range of capabilities. Dell echoed this, anticipating an early finish for Gaethje. The stage is set for a clash that will not only shape the lightweight division, but define legacies.